All right. So welcome everyone to our parent information night for the incoming class of 2025 to Herman High School. Woo! So the goal for tonight is to really help families understand what it is like to be a student here at Herman High School. So we do have some presenters here tonight. Before we get going, I would just like to introduce everybody that we have here. So I will introduce each person. They can give you a wave, say hello, just so you can put a face to the name. So first with us today is the principal of Herman High School, Mr. Brian Walsh.
Good evening. Welcome, everyone.
We have the assistant principal at Herman High School, Mrs. Bieberstein.
Good evening and welcome.
We have our athletic director at Herman High School, Mr. Rick Sinclair.
Hi, everyone.
There we go. Perfect. Thank you, Rick. We have the director of guidance for the district, Mrs. Leslie Smith.
Good evening, everyone. We're really glad you're here.
We have a school counselor here, at Mrs. Heather Pelletier.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Herman High School.
We have our district social worker with us tonight, Mrs. Kara Kitchen.
Hi, everyone. Nice to see you all.
And we also have our GT coordinator and honor scholar diploma advisor, Mrs. Nicole Griffin.
Hi, everyone.
So I am Lillian Berry, and I'm a school counselor here at the high school, and part of my caseload is the freshman class. So I am dedicated to helping your kids transition here to the high school. We have been putting in a lot of efforts, especially through COVID, to really help make this process seamless during a very confusing time. And I really appreciate all of you bearing with us and joining us here virtually to get the full experience, the best that we can give to help support your students. So we are going to be going through really the nuts and bolts of Herman High School and offering you an opportunity at the end to have a Q&A to ask any of us any questions that you might have. I do encourage you to wait towards the end of the presentation for questions, but please feel free if there's something that you need to ask, you by all means you can ask us. I am going to be starting the presentation off with a couple of videos that we created actually for freshman orientation for this current freshman class. So you will hear the class of 2024 throughout that, but it is still applicable for your students. So Mrs. Bieberstein, when you're ready, you can play that. Hello, I am Miss Berry and I'm a school counselor here at Herman High School. Part of my caseload is the freshman class, so I would like to be the first to welcome you as the class of 2024 at Herman High School. I know that you all have been out of school for a long time, and that comes with a lot of challenges. I wanted to make sure that your class got the same experience as other classes, just virtually. We are going to be giving you a tour of the building. You will also get to see each and every teacher in this building and learn a little bit about their personality. Throughout the next few weeks, you are going to have the opportunity to get previews and videos of all of the fantastic opportunities that we have to offer here at Herman High School. This will include clubs, sports, academics, and all extracurriculars. We also will include contact information in case you'd like to reach out to advisors or coaches throughout the summer. Please make sure that you are tuning in throughout the week and following the schedule to make sure that you get to see all that Herman High School has to offer. The first wing that I'm going to show you is the Humanities Wing. Here at the high school, we do call it the Humanities Wing, and you will have both English and Social Studies classes down here. This will also be your homeroom wing for the next 4 years, so you will have a great opportunity to get close and build relationships with your homeroom teachers.
Hi, I'm Ms. Toole.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Cook.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Garvey.
Hi, I'm Miss Luce.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Bjorklund.
Hi guys, I'm Mr. Murray.
Hello, I'm Mr. Adams.
Hi, I'm Mr. Peterson.
Hi, welcome to the West Wing. I'm Mr. Hargrove.
Down the main wing is where you will find a lot of extracurricular classes and also a lot of art courses. you will find the art room, the dark room, ceramics room. You will also find our beautiful auditorium and music room where we offer band, jazz band, chamber choir, steel pans, and guitar. Down the main wing, you will also get to see the library. You will be spending a lot of time in here.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Dove. Welcome to the library. Please come and enjoy all of our 12,000 books.
Hi, I'm Ms. Schwartz. Welcome to the library. We are open 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. and we'd love to help you.
At the end of this wing is the cafeteria and the gym. Take a look. One of the really great things about Herman High School is the layout. We do have a very large school, but we only have 2 floors, which is very nice. Upstairs at Herman High School, you will find many courses, including your math classes, your science classes, and also personal finance, which is a graduation requirement.
Hi, I'm Mr. Crocker.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Fusco.
Welcome to Herman High School. I'm Mrs. Lines.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Haskell. I'm the math science tutor here at Herman High School.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Taylor.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Dubois.
I'm Miss Merrill. I teach chemistry.
Hi, I'm Mr. Garvey.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Butterfield.
Hi, I'm Colby.
Hey, I'm Mrs. Debay.
Hello, I'm Mr. Stahl.
Hi, I'm Miss Thayer.
Hi, I'm Miss Trinkman.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Anthony.
The next wing that you're going to see is the World Language Wing. That is not the only thing down here. We do have the nurse's office, the guidance office, and also the classroom where you will be taking health class.
Welcome, class of 2024 to Herman High School. I'm Mrs. Klein, and I teach Spanish, and I advise student council.
Hello, class of 2024. I am Madame Perron. I teach French, and I am the advisor for French Club and the class of 2022.
Hi, class of 2024. I am Mrs. Kitchen. I'm your school social worker.
Hi, class of 2024. I'm Ms. Hassler, and I'm the attendance monitor and an additional student support.
Welcome, class of 2024. My name is Leslie Smith, and I'm the director of guidance, and I'm looking forward to meeting you all.
The main office is where you will find the principal, assistant principal, and athletic director.
Hi, I'm Mr. Walsh, principal of Herman High School. Welcome to Herman High.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Duplessis. I'm the secretary here at Herman High School.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Morgan. I'm the attendance secretary.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Bieberstein, assistant principal at Herman High School.
Hello, I'm Mr. Sinclair, athletic director at Herman High School.
Attached to the gym is a beautiful weight room. We often have students coming before and after school to work out. And next to that is our athletic training room. We do contract an athletic trainer that works with all of our student athletes. We also offer athletic training as a course here at Herman High School. Next to the athletic training room is JROTC. JROTC is a wonderful program that offers opportunities to learn how to be a leader. It also gives you a great opportunity to get community service hours. We typically have a quarter of our student body participating in this program. When it's time for lunch, you will find that the process is very similar to both Caravel and Herman middle schools. You will go through either the a la carte line or the hot lunch line, and when you're ready to pay, you put in your school ID number. We will make sure that you are aware of what that number is. When it's time to put your school ID code in, your families are able to upload money to the school website so kids don't have to carry cash to lunch. There are a couple of wonderful intervention opportunities that we offer here at Herman High School. One being the math and science tutor with Mrs. Haskell, and the other is the Writing Center. The Writing Center is staffed with NHS members to do peer editing, and also through the English department. There is always an English teacher available working in the Writing Center. Students of Herman High School really take advantage of the Writing Center. We work with your students to make sure they know how to utilize this intervention. Not only is it great for essays, but we have students that help with lab, reports, and also SAT prep. Herman High School offers an intervention block twice a week. This gives the opportunity for students to work individually with their teachers for a multitude of reasons. If you missed a class, if you needed to make sure that your notes are correct, if you wanted a little bit more time to study, this is the opportunity to do it. Teachers are able to collect data through Intervention Block as well to really help support your students in the classroom. We can use this data to drive instruction and make sure that each kid is truly successful in the classroom. In the mornings, all buses and parents drop students off to the front door at the main entrance. Students are able to come into the school, go to their locker, hang out in the library, or go to breakfast in the cafeteria. After school, we do see buses set up a little differently. In the afternoons, Herman buses are parked at the main entrance in front of the school, where Caravel buses for Carmel and Levant are parked outside of the gym entrance. This makes it a little bit easier for students to find their bus and get out of school on time. Thank you all for joining and watching the school tour of Herman High School. Throughout the summer, you are going to be seeing previews and videos of the activities here, as I mentioned. If you have any questions or concerns, please give me a call at 207-848-4041. You also can find my email on the school website, and you can send me an email at any time as well. I really look forward to seeing our class of 2024 in the fall.
So again, thank you all for bearing with us, as it does repeatedly say the class of 2024, but we did put a lot of work into these videos, and at a typical parent information night, we do offer a school tour, so I thought it was appropriate for us to be able to watch this. The next video that we'll be watching is just a brief introduction to administration and guidance here at the high school.
Hello, I am Miss Barry and I'm a school counselor here at Herman High School. Part of my caseload is the freshman class, so I would like to be the first to welcome you as the class of 2024 at Herman High School.
Hi freshmen, I'm Miss Hassler and I am the attendance monitor and an additional student support. And a fun fact about me is that I have lived in 4 different states across 3 different regions of the country.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Duplessis. I'm the secretary here at Herman High School.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Morgan. I'm the attendance secretary.
Hi there, my name is Leslie Smith and I'm the Director of Guidance at Herman High School. I am in my 5th year at Herman and I absolutely love it. Both of my kids came through the school system and I am a Hawk through and through. A fun fact about me is that 2 years ago, I started snowmobiling and I am obsessed with it. I absolutely love snowmobiling. And so if you're a snowmobiler, come see me and let's talk. Welcome to Herman High School.
Hi everyone, my name is Mrs. Kitchen. I am your school social worker and I work in the guidance office. A fun fact about myself is that my dog Millie is a rescue greyhound from Florida and she can run up to 45 miles an hour. I can't wait to meet you all in the fall.
I'm Mrs. Pelletier. I'm part of the guidance office team. I work with upperclassmen whose last names start at the second half of the alphabet. I'm also the CTE coordinator, so I'm the liaison between UTC and Bangor in Herman High School. So when you get to be an upperclassman and you're interested in attending UTC, we'll be working together to get you enrolled there and to seek out a program that fits. A fun fact about me, I grew up riding horses and I had a horse from the age 10 until I was 22 and I showed him locally. I don't have horses anymore, but maybe someday.
Hi, my name's Brian Walsh, and I am the principal of Herman High School. My fun fact is I've been the principal so long. In fact, I've been the principal since before you were born.
Hello, I'm Rick Sinclair. I'm the athletic director at Herman High School. And a fun fact about me is I am a Herman Hawk alumni, class of 1992.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Bieberstein. I'm the assistant principal here at Herman High School. A fun fact about me is that I began my career as a certified athletic trainer at the University of Illinois before coming to Herman in 2002. So like Mr. Walsh, I've been at Herman High School in some capacity since before all of you students were born.
All right, thank you all for watching. I really wanted you to have the opportunity to see some of our staff members, our teachers, and get the layout of the school. So our next presentation is going to be from Mr. Walsh, the building principal, and he is going to be going over grading practices as well as some of our supports and interventions offered here at the high school.
Ms. Berry, thank you for that introduction. Clearly, Ms. Berry does a very nice job when it comes to videos and being on camera, maybe better than some of us. I do look forward to meeting you in person, and I am really hopeful that both in August we can do a normal orientation, and then we can do a normal parents' night so you can meet us in the flesh and we can really start to know each other. Tonight I'm going to talk to you just a little bit about grading practices at Herman High School. With so many students coming from different area different area middle schools, I like to go over this with both the parents and the students at the start of the year because there are differences in how we grade and how those grades are reported. So at Herman High School, we break knowledge and learning down into two different types. There's declarative and procedural. And we try to keep the definitions pretty basic. Declarative is factual knowledge or information, whereas procedural is the application of information. So declarative knowledge is, for example, the ability to define the different parts of a cell. So if a student were to take a quiz and they were to name those parts of the cell, there's 5 parts, 5 out of 5 would be 100, 4 out of 5 would be an 80, and so forth. And we realize that declarative knowledge is important, and we do score that declarative knowledge here at the school. Parents, declarative knowledge in our generation was learning our multiplication tables or vocabulary words in English, but it's those facts and knowledge that we know is necessary for students to be successful. The procedural piece, as I said, is the application. And so if we use the example of the cell again, it's one thing to be able to define the different parts, but a total other to be able to compare and contrast, in this case, mitosis and meiosis. And so we look at those two very separately, and then we break those down further into formative and summative assessment. So formative and summative assessment, and hopefully these are terms, students and parents, that you're used to. So for us, formative assessment is assessment for learning, where summative assessment is assessment of learning. So formative is used to evaluate where the student is, what their progress is, and then what needs they have. Some of the ways in the high school that we use formative assessment is practice quizzes, homework, skills checks, exit slips, and then peer or self-assessments. And there's also a multitude of other ways that we use formative assessment. Summative assessment, which again, most of you parents are more familiar with, would be things like tests, quizzes, projects, papers, labs, presentations, and even performances. So the way we break down scoring at Herman High is in this way. Summative assessment is worth 80% of a student's grade, and formative assessment is worth 20%. Now, that may seem like a big discrepancy, but the reality is summative assessment is really where we need the students to be. We need to know that they not only know the information, but they can apply and use that information. The formative assessment, which is worth 20%, is that practice piece, is the homework, is the preparedness, is things that we know are necessary for good work habits and good study skills. But the fact is the summative is where that we know that the students know the information and can use it. So here's the scale that we use for formative. And again, many middle schoolers will be familiar with this. We use 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then we break that down into a number. So 4 is 100%, 3 is 87%, 2 is 77, 1 is 67. And then obviously if there's no work, it's a 0. We also have indicators like an M for work that's missing or an ABS if a student were absent. Our summative scale is a 0 to 100 scale. And again, many of you parents will be familiar with this. It's a 0 to 100 scale, and then we convert that to the College Board GPA, which is a 4-point scale. But we break those numbers down into A, B, C, D, and F, and then an I would be an incomplete. We do utilize PowerSchool here at Herman High School. And so parents, you will receive a login for PowerSchool as well as the students. And so that way you are able to kind of check and follow and see how assignments are being completed, what the scores are. And you can even click on our scores here and actually break down and actually look at things like performance indicators and standards. So to help students in terms of the transition from middle school to high school, we have a number of interventions that are in place. And I know that in the video that you watched, you kind of got a little sense of what some of those are. One of the first interventions we have is our intervention periods that occur twice a week. We use a program called Edge-a-Sketch, where students are actually able to tag themselves if they need help with their teachers in those interventions. Likewise, teachers go into Edge-a-Sketch and tag the students. So 2 40-minute blocks a week, students are working with specific teachers on specific skills to help them improve. In addition, we have a full-time math and science tutor, that's Mrs. Haskell, and she's available to students during study halls, before school, after school, or even during classes. So if a student were in Algebra 1 and they were struggling a bit, Mrs. Haskell can actually offer support during that class as well. In the video, you also notice the Writing Center, which is located in the library. The Writing Center is staffed by our NHS students. We assign one English teacher a period to the Writing Center so that students in all classes, not just English classes, can get help and support in the writing process. You've already met Miss Berry, who's doing a great job emceeing tonight, and she is our dedicated 9th grade counselor. We actually call her a 9th grade transition counselor because she begins working with the students in the spring of 8th grade, which is now, and transitions them to high school, and she will be their counselor for the whole freshman year. You were introduced briefly to Kara Kitchen. She's our social worker, and she provides support and case management to students. She's also located in the guidance office. We were very fortunate to add an attendance and student support personnel, and that's Mrs. Hassler. And so she takes care of attendance issues and also offering targeted support to students. When the library was focused on the video, they talked about their hours. So the library opens during normal years at 7 a.m. and it's open to 4 p.m. I should mention the school itself, outside of this COVID year, actually opens at 6 a.m. and we're open from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. And so parents, if you prefer to drop your child off in the morning or pick them up later in the afternoon and not utilize the busing, you can actually drop your child off early. They can come in, they can use the fitness room, they can go to the library. The cafeteria opens at 6 a.m. as well, or they can stay late. And so they could stay and get extra help. They could work in the library. If they have a late practice, they're able to stay in the buildings open. The last thing I want to mention again, which I said earlier, was we do utilize PowerSchool, and that's a great tool for parents and students as well as the teachers. And we really like to support parents in using that because we believe it helps open the conversation between parents and students as well as their teachers.
Thank you, Mr. Walsh. I appreciate that very much. So building off of what Mr. Walsh is saying, it's important to understand what your child's requirements are for graduation. And so if you look here, I did, the top 3 points are pretty large here. We have 20 hours of community service. I put this first because this was a pretty common question when I visited both Herman and Caravel. Students were wondering what that looks like. So here in guidance, we work really hard to offer opportunities, encourage kids, help with documentation. We really try to make the process easy. An example I like to give students, if you are to sell concessions at a basketball game during a typical year, so JV and varsity basketball games, once a year, you could meet your required 20 hours of community service. We often have kids that far surpass that though. You do need to complete the main state assessment, which for us is the SAT. Again, we coordinate and make sure that each student is both taking it and getting the accommodations that they need. And also the completion and passing, which is a biggie in high school, of 21 credits. So you will notice I broke down each core subject that is required to graduate. So a new one that started this year is personal finance. We heard from the masses that we really needed to focus on some skills that were relative to real life. And I do believe that this course does a great job of meeting that need. We also did add an extra health course for freshmen. Again, we listen to the kids. That is a big thing here. We really want to make sure that the classes are applicable and relative to our students, and we recognize the need for another level of health. Once students meet these requirements, which often happens easily and before senior year, we work hard to offer different pathways, which you will see from Mrs. Smith later tonight, and opportunities for cool courses outside of the building. So I say the passing, of course, because you will notice a little difference in how academics are viewed at the high school level. A credit is earned for completing a course with a passing grade. So students do have to earn a grade of a 70 or better to earn this credit. And here we are on a 0 to 100 scale. So we offer full credit courses, which would be a full year course. So your core subjects, math, science, English, social studies. And we also offer half-year courses, which you will notice with PE, health, and art courses. Another big difference here at the high school is our scheduling. We do have block scheduling, which is 4 80-minute blocks. Oh, we have someone joining us. If you look at this, I tried to add a schedule here that is pretty typical for a freshman. And we have both blue days and gold days. If you notice on the side, we have listed the semesters and quarters that go along with that class. Thank you, Steph. You will notice here, when I brought up the half-year courses, you will notice art foundations, crafts, PE, and health are all half-year courses. This is done intentionally to allow for students to take as many classes as possible throughout the year. It's really important to understand what a transcript is. You probably have heard this, you have your own, but we really like for our students to have a good understanding of the purpose of their transcript. And please know that we do maintain and keep historical records of transcripts here at the high school forever. What goes on a transcript? It will have all of the year-end grades for courses taken 9th grade through 12th grade. It will include credits earned. It will include GPA. We include our test scores. And another wonderful thing that we have on our transcripts is proof of our accreditation through NEASC. Sometimes students are asked to provide their transcripts when applying for jobs. It is required for college, technical school. The military does require this. It is proof of graduation, and it also showcases your hard work while being a student here. The next part of this presentation is on our Honors Scholar Diploma program here at the high school. And I'd like to introduce the coordinator, Mrs. Nicole Griffin.
Thank you, Lily. Hello, everyone. As Ms. Berry said, I run the honors program here at the high school. I am also the gifted and talented coordinator for the Herman District. So the honors program, the way I've been framing it to the kids the past couple of weeks is that if your child is considering taking some honors level classes next year, it would be great if they would consider applying for the honors program. The purpose of the honors program is really to reward those students who want to take challenging courses, who want to invest in other learning opportunities. So this is a great pathway for them in that regard. A program description, some of the brief bullet points for the program. They do have to take some high-level courses, which would include 9 honors, AP, or college classes in the 4 years that they attend here. They also need to participate in some enrichment opportunities and a book study, 1 book study in their 4 years here, and we do that in conjunction with the Honors College at the University of Maine. And the last requirement is they need to complete 30 hours of community service. So that's 10 in addition to the high school requirement for graduation. Some incentives. So we award those students with a medal to wear at graduation. We do that at Academic Awards Night, so they are honored there. We have their transcript and diploma stamped with the honor seal. And also, if your child were to apply to the University of Maine and they graduate with an honors diploma, they would have automatic invitation to the Honors College at UMO. We also go to the Honors College once a year to tour the Honors College, to talk to the dean, and we also do our book study. So that's kind of a culmination of our book study, and most of the students really enjoy that experience. So how to apply? With Caravel, I emailed Mrs. Davis, the guidance counselor, the application, and then I also passed out applications to those students at the Herman Middle School who are interested. So most of those students have the application. I will be doing follow-ups with both guidance counselors. So I'll be going back to Caravel, I'll be going back to Herman Middle School later this month and asking or answering any questions your kids have about the application. Also, if your child does not receive an application, you can always email me and I'd be happy to send that email. And my email is right on the screen. It's nicole.griffin@schools.herman.net. All right, thank you, Ms. Berry.
Great. Thank you, Mrs. Griffin. Just to build off that quickly, Mrs. Griffin will be joining me for a couple of dates during academic advising, and that is just to help support the process of filling out the application and to have somebody readily available to answer questions. Please feel free to reach out to her or myself if you do have any individual questions, but just know that we will be available on those advising dates to help you. So to build off of this, we have the Director of Guidance, Mrs. Leslie Smith, giving a presentation on the multiple pathways for graduation at Herman High School.
Hello, everybody. Again, welcome tonight. We're very happy you're here. So even in and during your transition as a freshman, before you know it, you're going to be thinking about your sophomore and junior year. And it's right around the corner, believe it or not. And so one of the things that we like to do is start planting some seeds immediately for you to maybe begin thinking and teasing out what pathway you would like to pursue in high school. And so my biggest message is one size does not fit all. And I cannot stress that enough. Oftentimes students will want to pick classes that their friends are taking, which it's lovely to have a friend in a class, but we want to make sure that students are customizing and following their own path that meets their own needs. So let's talk a little bit about that. So Herman High School prides ourselves in having probably about 5 pathways to graduation. And one pathway is our traditional pathway of college prep classes. As you know, we're accredited by New England Schools of NEASC, and we're very proud of that. But what is college prep? College prep is probably what many of us took in high school. It's comprised of the core requirements of a Herman High School education to help prepare students for a 4-year post-secondary education. And so college prep is preparing our students to apply to a 4-year school and to be successful in a 4-year college. These college preps classes are outlined in our program of studies. There are some exceptions, and the program of studies also indicates that. But the bottom line is a college prep pathway gives a Herman High School student a solid, rich, and stimulating course of study in a very traditional way. Another pathway is our honors and advanced placement pathway. And so students as early as freshman year can start beginning to take honors classes. And the difference between honors classes and college prep classes is that the honors classes may cover more materials and provide more in-depth challenges to students. After their freshman and sometimes their sophomore year, students are able to start taking AP classes. And so for those of us who weren't familiar with AP classes way back when, I'd like to talk to you a little bit about what that is. So advanced placement is a program run through the College Board, who are actually the makers of the SAT assessment. And advanced placement allows students to take high school courses that can earn them college credit or qualify for more advanced college classes. It also looks really good on your transcript. AP Score may let students skip introductory courses in college, and they could potentially show colleges that they want challenges. I don't want to go into too much depth about AP classes because I know you're thinking about your freshman year, but I just wanted to make sure I mentioned that piece. And then another pathway is our early college. Now, what is early college? When I was a student, there was no such thing as taking a college class while you were in high school. And probably up till about 10 years ago, maybe one student in our building might have done that. So early college allows students to take college classes while in high school, oftentimes at no cost or a small fee, and the purchase of the book. And so the history of this is that about 5 or 6 years ago, the University of Maine system started to breathe life into early college through their system, allowing students who are eligible to take an early college class. For example, one popular class is general psychology, which most four-year college students have to take, right? And so we jumped on that wagon immediately. Herman was like, yes, we can do this. This would give students different options, help them to save money when they went to school, start advancing their high school rigor. And so those early college opportunities occur through Husson, through University of Maine system, through our local community colleges, but also we have college classes that are taught right here at Herman High School by our teachers who have been vetted by the universities. And so as your student advances through their freshman and then their sophomore year, we'll be blasting out that information to them to let them know when those classes are available, and we will provide advising about what they should do if they would like to access that program. And then there are 2 more pathways that Mrs. Pelletier is going to be talking about through CTE. But my biggest message is find the pathway that's best for you. And honestly, the pathways that were mentioned can absolutely be fluid. You can use whichever pathway you want and mix and match and create your own pathway at the high school. So thank you.
Awesome, Mrs. Smith. Thank you so much. I also wanted to let people know that there is an extended full presentation that Mrs. Smith has done on pathways. In case you are interested in watching that, it is posted on our YouTube channel for you to watch whenever you'd like. Our next presentation tonight is from Mrs. Heather Pelletier.
Thank you, Miss Barry. So I work with sophomores, juniors, and seniors, and I also am the CTE coordinator and the Bridge Academy liaison. So I work very closely with the United Technologies Center in Bangor. One of our objectives this evening has not only been to help you feel comfortable about having your student come to the high school next year, but to also front load your child's high school experience with information they need and as information that you need as a parent to help them make decisions about their goals for after high school, what their career will be. And we want you to be able to plan ahead and to capitalize on the multiple pathways that we have to offer and that Mrs. Smith shed some light on. With that said, I'd like to take a moment to speak specifically to our local CTE school, UTC, and our Bridge Academy program. There's a common misconception about UTC that I'd like to dispel. Many people associate United Technologies Center with the Voc schools of the past. It was perceived as a place where academically or behaviorally challenging students might have gone to do something hands-on. And it was also thought to be having low rigor. Next slide, please, Ms. Biebersheim. Career and technical education, I can assure you, is anything but low-level learning. All of the programs at UTC offer college-level curriculum, often with opportunities to earn college credit, third-party certifications and credentials, and without a doubt, necessary skills that give students a head start in preparing for the future of work. CTE supports the development of workplace competencies and employability skills, including technical job skills. So the specifics of a career like diagnostics, crime scene investigation, fabricating a chicken, computer coding, etc. and also necessary soft skills, so problem solving, dependability, teamwork, communication, which are all transferable for classrooms here at the high school and also in post-secondary education. UTC offers 19 programs in 4 different industries: the service industry, the construction industry, transportation, and then also computer science and production. I've listed these programs on this slide. I won't read through all of them or speak to each of the programs. Instead, I invite you to refer to our program of studies and the UTC program of studies that we'll have on hand in the guidance office for a comprehensive list of these programs. 4 UTC programs, which I had highlighted in yellow, present unique opportunities for highly motivated students to earn college credentials before they even graduate high school. That saves them time and money. Through a partnership with Eastern Maine Community College, students can enter UTC with a map of how to earn a college certificate, associate, and bachelor's degree. It's really nice for students to have a visual of what this progress looks like, because even though they may not be able to meet the associate in the 2-year UTC program, they can see what courses apply to that associate degree, and where they have space, they can continue to pursue those courses and credits. Another opportunity through our partnership with UTC is the Bridge Academy program. Bridge is an early college program that combines college courses that are taught here at the high school, career training through UTC programs, and specialized opportunities through the Bridge program of Maine. The partnership extends also to the university and college, community college systems. Every year we host a Bridge Academy information night in January or early February for all freshman and sophomore families, so you can certainly get more information over the next 2 years. Students that are interested in applying to Bridge and participating in the Bridge Academy program will apply during course registration of their sophomore year, and the Bridge Academy experience will start for accepted students shortly after that. The goal of Bridge Academy is to provide a soft transition from high school to the post-secondary setting by extending semester-long college courses over an entire school year, delivered by teachers that are familiar to the student, with tutoring and resources that the students are also familiar with, and then also to provide students career exposure and mentoring so that students leave high school with a concrete plan on how to obtain their goals. There truly is something for everyone here at Herman High School, and UTC is one of the many great options. We take great pride in supporting students with all types of goals and look forward to working with you and your student. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, Mrs. Pelletier. I just want to say on a side note, Mrs. Pelletier has done a lot here at the high school to really help deepen the understanding of CTE, and we do send more students to UTC than any of the surrounding area schools, and I think that really does speak to a lot of the work that Mrs. Pelletier does. She has the opportunity to get to know all of the students who attend UTC regardless of caseload, and I think that is really a cool thing too. And if you do have any questions regarding Bridge or regarding UTC, please feel free to ask any of us, but she definitely is the guru, and I encourage you to reach out to her. So thank you, Mrs. Pelletier. The next presentation today is coming from our district social worker, Mrs. Kara Kitchen.
Thanks, Lillian. Hi again, everyone. I just wanted to take a few minutes to go into a little bit more detail about what my role is at the high school level. As everyone has said, I do work in all 3 schools in the district, in the Herman district. I spend probably about 2.5 to 3 days at the high school each week. And my office is right in the guidance suite, so I collaborate really closely with the other school counselors and provide some additional social and emotional support for all students, any student that needs it. And that is kind of my dedicated role. So sometimes when students need maybe a little added support, a week here, a week there, ongoing, I'm able to kind of spend a little bit more time with them and provide that support. I also provide some case management services, and what that kind of means is I can work with students and families to refer to community resources. So for example, if a family was looking for some case management services in their home, help with meeting basic needs, things like that. Those are all things that I can help with. I also will help with referrals for counseling services. That's a really large part of my role. We have some contracted providers, which are counselors that our district contracts with to provide counseling services right on campus to our students during the school day and in the evening. So that's a wonderful resource that we have. Sometimes that's not a good fit for everyone, so I can work with families and students to refer outside of the school district to providers in the community if that's something that families are looking for. Another big part of my role is monitoring at-risk students. So I'm closely, and this is also with the school counselors as well, but closely looking at student attendance and grades on a weekly basis so that we can be proactive in putting interventions in place for students who we notice might be missing a lot of school or might be struggling in some classes. Also, I am the homeless liaison for the district, and that means that any families that are experiencing homelessness, I can provide support to those families. And my contact information is there at the bottom of the slide. And thank you very much.
Thank you, Mrs. Kitchen. I really want to point out quickly her role in checking attendance and grades. We have seen a significant increase in student success since she has started this protocol and set up these meetings. She is really working hard to make sure that all of our students district-wide are supported. We're very lucky to have here for 2.5 days. I wish it was 5 days, but I really want all of the parents to see all of the dedicated support that we have here for our students and the people that are here that really care about your kids. And what's coming up next? I am going to be doing some academic advising. So I have included here some specific dates for Caravel Middle School and Herman Middle School. This information has been communicated to teachers, counselors, the building principals at both schools, but I do want to recognize the fact that there are students attending and parents that are here tonight that are not part of these two schools, and I strongly encourage you to reach out to me personally, and I would be more than happy to set up an individual academic advising appointment with your child. There we go. So here is my contact information. For those of you that are not Herman or Caravel, obviously Herman and Caravel parents, please take this information too. But for those of you that would like to set up a meeting, this is the best way to contact me. I thought it was important for parents to fully understand the breakdown of students here. We work hard to make sure that every student feels really connected to their counselors. So we've changed our caseloads a little bit, and we're working out the kinks to make sure that the process is as seamless as possible. You will notice on here that my caseload does include the entire freshman class. And I maintain students with the last names A through C. This year, that wasn't the case because Mrs. Smith had been working with those seniors, and we felt that that was best practice to keep them with Mrs. Smith. I encourage all of you to kind of bear with us as we figure out the best way to split up our caseloads. But I say that because I want you to recognize how important it is for us to know that our students are supported here. We do have 4 dedicated people in the guidance suite, and we get to know our students very well. I also encourage you all, please, to start looking at our social media pages. At the high school, we have very active social media. This recording will be on our YouTube channel. We have so many videos on our YouTube channel. We have a very active Facebook. We recognize that that may be utilized for more parents than students. So we have created an Instagram account where we push out all of our information, and our students are checking that. Please know that we will not follow you or your kids back on any social media. That's not our goal. We do not want that. But we do think that this is really proven to be a great way to get our information out, and kids are constantly checking it. So please, I encourage you, I've included on here the correct names for our Facebook and Instagram page, so you're not following other ones. But that has been extremely helpful for families to get information. So I would like to introduce the athletic director here at the high school, Mr. Rick Sinclair.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the class of 2025. I'm going to take a few minutes just to go over some of the broader things that have to do with athletics here at the high school. It is a very important part of many of our students' high school careers and high school experience. We currently have about 250 student athletes that participate in at least one sport. Here you can see on the first slide is our fall athletic teams. These will be the teams that you will start your athletic career in if you choose to play. This is the first season of the school year. The start date for fall sports is August 16th, so that's a little bit different than middle school in that we'll start sports before actually school starts. So there'll be a lot more information to come about athletics, but there's one date probably that you can put in pencil in your calendar and remember. In the fall, we have, as you can see, varsity and JV girls and boys soccer. We have a varsity and JV football team. We have a varsity golf team, boys and girls cross country, cheering, and varsity and JV field hockey. So one of the things to point out there is there's a lot of opportunity for students to begin at an entry level in high school with the JV team. So if you're not experienced in a sport, it's still okay to start one in high school. Moving on to the winter, we offer varsity and JV girls basketball. We offer varsity JV and freshman boys basketball, indoor track, and varsity cheering. And starting in the winter of next year, we have aligned ourselves so we can offer hockey here at the high school, and we will be part of a co-op with John Bapst. So our students that come to Herman will have an opportunity to play varsity hockey, so that's pretty exciting and new news. And in the spring, we have varsity and JV softball, varsity and JV baseball, tennis for boys and girls, and outdoor track for boys and girls. So you can see we have 26 varsity teams, 18 teams in total, and a lot of opportunity to get involved. Athletics is certainly an extension of the classroom. A lot of good, valuable lessons learned through athletics, and also a great way to network and to meet some friends that make your transition a little bit more comfortable. Just quickly, a couple of requirements that really head the list among other requirements, which we'll talk about more when we have athletic information night at the beginning of the school year. But students that are entering the high school will need to have a current physical on file in order to start participation in the fall. And we have online registration, and that's done through Rank 1, and those forms are found right on our website. And so, again, we'll talk more, and more information will follow in regards to requirements as you get closer to the start of your high school career. Here are just some of the conferences that our varsity teams are affiliated with. Obviously, the Maine Principals Association is the major governing body of all of our sports, but we have Big Ten Football Conference, the Penobscot Valley Conference, Big East Basketball, and the Eastern Maine Indoor Track League are affiliations that we also have as well at Herman High School. We didn't have... As you all know, I don't need to tell anybody this school year was a little unusual, and to this point, through the fall and winter, the Maine Principals Association has not offered any championships. So we've had some championships offered at the local level, but nothing at the regional or state level. But some things worth mentioning: our girls soccer team finished an undefeated regular season. Our golf team was the Penobscot Valley Conference champions. Our cheer team is still active and going. They've won their first 2 competitions that they've been in, and they have the state competition next week. And then our freshman basketball team finished up their season with a Penobscot Valley Conference runner-up, and their only loss of the year, unfortunately, in that championship game to Brewer. So despite all of the difficulties and challenges that have been associated with athletics, we've still managed to have some success. Summer sports is important for all of you folks on this. If you are going to be an athlete here at the high school, summer sports will actually start for your student athletes right around the same time that they graduate from middle school. So it's a quick transition. Early March, we don't have any schedules yet for those summer sports, but I encourage participation in summer sports for a number of reasons. One, obviously, it's to practice and get better at the sport that you are choosing to participate in. 2, you get to meet your coaches and get to know them a little bit before the seasons actually start. And 3, it's a great way to network and meet upperclassmen and have those resources available to you as you start your transition. Summer sports, there'll be more information, like with everything kind of right now, that will be forthcoming as we get closer to the end of the school year. Here's some information right on this slide that talks about some of the resources where you can hear or find out things about athletics. Our website, the school website, has a separate athletics page, and a lot of information and notoriety and whatnot goes on to that page. Facebook is another great resource. That is separate from the high school Facebook page. There's a separate athletics Facebook page for the high school. Twitter, we have a handle at Herman Hawks. And Instagram, we started this year to reach out to the students a little more. That seems to be their avenue or platform for social media to get information to them. And then our last, kind of a nice segue here, Miss Barry, the last piece of information here where you can find is right on your phone. Herman Hawks, ME is an app that's in the App Store and on Google Play, and you can download that, and that basically gives you the same information that you could find on the website. So that's another great tool as well for athletic information. And I believe the last slide is just my contact information. This is also all available on the website. But disregard that email. That's not correct. My correct email is on the website. Guess I need to edit this a little further. But that information you can find on the website as well. So I know you've had a lot of information given to you tonight, but if you have further questions or would like to know anything else about athletics, please feel free to reach out to me. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Mr. Sinclair. I do just want to let everybody know that we will be doing some follow-up meetings with the middle schools later this spring, and Mr. Sinclair will be joining us, and he is available to answer any questions that you may have. I know it's very exciting to think about your students and kids becoming high school athletes. I did want to let you know that we are still searching for an updated version of that video, and I will be sending that out. So I assume the counselors will be able to put that on your kids' Google Classroom. So that is our presentation, and I wanted to open it up for any questions that you all may have for us. Feel free to ask or put it in the chat box. Mrs. Smith will be monitoring the chat box.
So we have one question from Skylar Allen regarding transportation for Glenburn students, which this comes up every year. Mr. Walsh, would you like to field this one?
Certainly. Thank you, Mrs. Smith. So at this time, we do not have a transportation agreement with the Glenburn School Department. In the past, they have talked to us regarding a certain number of students before they would run a bus. But at this time, there is no contract or agreement with Glenburn in terms of transportation to Herman. We would love there to be transportation to Herman. That's for sure.
There, I asked Mrs. Smith to, Mrs. Bieberstein to allow for more faces to show on here. It does look like we have another question in the chat box.
So do students have to apply for honors in freshman year, or is that something they can do in the sophomore year as well? Mrs. Griffin, would you please field that one?
Sure. Yeah, thank you for that question. So we have an ongoing enrollment typically through sophomore year is when, you know, we generally say that kids should apply because it's hard to fit in the requirements, all the requirements junior, senior year. So I take applications freshman and sophomore year.
One question that came to me this week, while maybe people might be typing in chat, is when do the 8th graders actually register for their classes? We know that they're going to get academic advising from you, Miss Berry, but when do they actually register through their PowerSchool accounts that they already have in Herman or being created for them for Caravel?
Thank you, Mrs. Smith. I'm very glad you brought that up. This is some good housekeeping here. I did deliver the program of studies with some forms for kids and families to look at. And as I mentioned to the students earlier, in an attempt to be proactive, I think I made a mistake and I included a form that had yesterday's date where the portal did open. Our common practice here for rising 9th graders is to first have academic advising meetings happen. So that will be taking place next week. I will be at Caravel for 2 days and at Herman for 2 days. I do also want to mention that if those time slots fill up and your child does want to meet with me, I will happily make another trip multiple times to both of those schools. The portal on PowerSchool for registering for classes is open until the 26th of March. So what that means is after academic advising, students will work with their advisory teachers at their middle school to register for courses. I have a recording of myself registering for classes that will be shared with your counselors. So there will be a visual available for everybody as well as a written handout on how to register. But students do not need to register until after next week.
It looks like we have someone who's raised their hand and has a question. T. Sirico.
Hi. So my daughter is moving here from New Jersey for school. So would I get a hold of her guidance counselor and give her the contact information, or how would that work as far as registering her into the school, the main school systems?
Hi, yeah, or Mrs. Smith, do you want to take that?
Yes, so thank you for that question. So what we need to do is get you a registration packet and have you begin filling that information out. And then have your daughter meet with Miss Berry and perhaps to talk to her about what pathway she'd like to take and what classes she'd like to pursue at the high school.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
There's a question from the chat. For credits needed for graduation, what is a math experience or a science experience?
Mrs. Smith, would you like me to take that?
I was thinking yes, or I can. It's up to you.
Sure,
Why don't you
I'll take that one. So for some students, a math or science experience will actually be a 4th-year course, or for some kids, 5 or 6 courses. For other students who choose a different pathway, they may be in a program at UTC that actually fulfills a math experience or a science experience. Students may take college courses that would also fulfill that experience. So there's kind of a multitude of options when it comes to that. We didn't want to limit our students and say you have to have 4 math classes at Herman High School. And so that's why it's 3 in an experience or 3 science and experience, because it allows the kids more flexibility as they create their pathway that's best for them. So that's why it's an experience versus a class. But when you read it in the program of studies, a class meets that experience, or there's other opportunities for that.
And then we have another question from Todd's Original Salsa. That's delicious salsa for those of us outside of Herman. So it sounds like this family is from a district that has choice. What's the best way for us to get the registration packet to you? Or does it go back to our middle school counselor for them to hand in?
I can answer this, Mrs. Smith. Great question. So for students that are not Herman or Caravel students, I am in contact. So for example, the Glenburn School, Beth Cottrell, I have given her a copy of our registration packet, and going forward, what she typically does is let me know who the student is, if the parents need any help with the registration packet, and then I try to set up a meeting with the family to discuss course options and just to get to know your student. But please reach out to your individual counselor. I think that is the best way to do it, and they will let me know how many packets or what information each family needs.
And we do encourage people to apply and send salsa along with the packet. We'd be happy to do that.
And then there's a question, can girls play ice hockey next year? And Rick Sinclair types, yes.
Yes, it's a co-ed opportunity. John Babs has varsity and JV ice hockey, so we'll have opportunity to do that, boys and girls.
But you're welcome, Mr. Jennings. I did want to mention before Lily. Oh, James has asked how many pops. I didn't know what that meant. So they're actually not Miss Griffin's.
Right. Can't claim them.
Mr. Walsh thinks 1,238 apparently. So one last thing before Miss Berry closes us out. We have summer hours here in guidance. It's something we established a few years ago because we found that ending the school year and then being completely like quiet and then coming back right before the school year wasn't best for families and students. And so we have established some hours during the summertime, and we'll be publishing that schedule in June. And that way, if you need to contact us for anything over the summer, you can. Another question is, when do freshmen get Power School sign-in?
So when I come over to do academic advising at the middle schools, first of all, Herman Middle School will continue to use the Power School information, login, username that they are currently using. And for Caravel students, I will bring that information over with me and I will have it available for you. And one thing I'd just like for parents to know, a really cool thing that Power School allows is for parents to link accounts. So if you have multiple students in our district, you have the ability to have all of their Power Schools included on your app. I will also be talking with the schools, the students about downloading the Power School app here at the high school. That tends to be the easiest way for students to check their grades. And our kids are checking their grades at least once per day. Most of the time, a couple times on their in-person days, and they're also checking outside of school. Our kids do a very good job of maintaining and recognizing what their grades are.
And so the next question is, what if your child already has Power School with their district? So it would be a totally different Power School account because each district has a district-specific account linked to our district. So we would have to get your daughter set up with a brand new account, which we will. Pretty quiet in the chat, Miss Berry.
Okay. Well, I am just so thrilled with the numbers tonight. I think we were up to 99 or 100 at one point. And if that is any indication of the commitment and engagement of your students, that's a very good sign for us. I also just want to thank you all for, as I mentioned, bearing with us through this. We understand that this is not ideal, but we appreciate everybody's willingness to join us tonight and ask some really great questions. I do recognize that there will probably be questions later on or in the days coming, and I really do encourage you to reach out, send me an email, give me a call, and I will do my best to get back to you as soon as possible. I also encourage you to follow up with me after I meet with your child if you have some questions about academic advising. This is a really great opportunity for your kids to start building some independence and some self-advocacy skills in meeting with me individually. But I do understand that there's probably going to be some questions, and I am happy to answer anything and any questions that you may have. We are going to be posting this on our YouTube channel. So for your friends, or if you want to watch it again, it will be posted. Please, I don't know why you'd want to watch it again, but I'm sure there may be a few. Be looking for this. We will most likely have it posted tomorrow. Thank you all very much, and I look forward to working with your children in the future. Thank you.